Who do I want to play with? Oh, that's a good one. Hey, Roy, how's it going? I want to branch out a bit. Hey, Dre. I could get more used to Zemo. And yeah, Sasquatch, why not? That's a good one for the ability accuracy that'll go well with Ham. Let's do it. Impact Purge is always good. I do kind of want to play with Power Stings, though. Let's do that. Maybe. I badly want the rare hack that gives you Power Stings on bleeds. But no guarantee we get that. Yeah, that's the hope, man. Would work well with Zemo. I might end up swapping in some other bleeder, but we'll see how this goes. Hey, Devil Dog. Oh, right. Masochism remains broken. Way too late. No. That was... Oh, I should have given him a relic. But I still can, because Incursions doesn't block you out of relics. Isn't that correct? Yeah, Void doesn't need. Not Oh, did they change it? I swear, literally last time I did this, you could. Okay. Oh, wait. He's in this quest, isn't he? Did you just pull him out of that? My game is going insane. There it is. Okay, I'll go back to farming later so that I can put my relic on my pig so that I can then take it to merchants. Ugh. Sorry for the runaround, everyone. Hey, Ryan. No, it clearly did not change. I was just in a quest. Thanks, Sith. I appreciate it. If you've got the 6-star version, Titans are still pretty rare. I took Onslaught to rank 4. I have Photon at rank 5 and will probably ascend her. If I had a 6-star Kushala, I would be investing in her. The way I see it, the more likely you are to have multiple Titan pulls and actually have a real chance at newer characters, the more likely you are to also be gaining other resources. And in that case, the 6-star is an easier investment. And so, for pretty much regardless of who you are, I think it makes some sense, at least, um, to still be ranking 6 stars. I really hate Meet Your Doom. Hey, Dre Silver. Ant-Man on Torch. Yeah, not the worst. Definitely not the best, but not the worst. Yeah, no problem, Icarus. No, I tested it last month, Ryan. I'm pretty sure. Maybe you also had somebody in a quest at the same time as Incursions and didn't realize it. Yeah, I've got Cassie at rank 3, but this is my first real power stinger. I'm not answering that, Sith. Come on. Excuse me, he's not unblockable. Those parries were really weird. Still no Sith. Varies day to day. Or sorry, still no Icarus. Not sure if I should rank 5 Sig 200 6-star Photon or wait until I get 2.5 more Titan shards to open one. If you're that close, I think I would wait. But I do think that the Sig is important enough that you wouldn't regret ranking the 6-star either. Ooh, that's pretty good for some of these. I mean, crit damage rating is amazing, but a generically good hack. There we go. That's what I wanted. It was very funny. I also really want a Kushala. Yeah, Absorbing Man certainly does. Bank Path 9. That looks fine. All fine. What do you do again? It's just like regen, right? Unblockable and regen. Yep. Cool. I did the thing. Right after I healed too. Maybe we'll get Buffcore. All roads lead back to Buffcore. Hmm. As much as I do want to use somebody else, this is healing. Yeah, I very much prefer the game without recoil on. Hmm. Right back at it is kind of rude. Excuse me. Dude. He held just long enough. This is my least favorite freaking thing about the AI. It's on the list to fix, but just like when somebody backs you up, just refuse to throw specials. Because you know what's suddenly more interesting? Heavies. Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that, Sith. But like they all represented different design challenges, right? I learned things from all of them. It wouldn't really make sense for me to have a favorite, in my opinion. Bro, I low-key hate Deadpool's animations for special baiting. Hey, Wolf, how's it going? Here we frickin' go again. Actually, out of curiosity, what are these cards? Yeah, okay, so it was literally just extra special. Yep. Quick question, just pulled Howard the Duck from the loyalty, then opened a 7-star basic, and it landed on Gambit. I think both of those are solid. Gambit does kind of want his own relic so that he can crit, but even without that, he's a decent Thorns counter and just generally hits hard. Howard, I think, is just legitimately good. I like Howard a lot. Hey, there we go. We got it. It only took losing Zemo to get it, but we got it. My... Oh, brute force is doubled, so I shouldn't have done this to heal. I'll have the cowardice up at all times, which is nice, but potentially a real problem. Unless, of course, I just do stupid amounts of damage. Am I going for the top solo banquet milestone? Probably, because I still have 3 paths of Necropolis, and so, like, the potential unit cost of that is important as well. Um, but I think so. Whoops, forgot about the power sting. Okay, I'm gonna have to practice using the manual evade to get an opening. It's clearly I don't know how to yet. Ouch. Hmm. Depth of the champions you create is the crazy thing. Past 2 years of champions amazing. Your champions age well. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad the arrow of her automatic cycling is making sense to you. That was something I agonized over a fair bit. Excuse me. What are my thoughts on reworking champs that have already been reworked rather than ones that haven't been touched? Okay, here we frickin' go. That's not aggressive towards you, Icarus. I just knew this was coming today. Okay, so I don't know if they want me to say this early, but I'm gonna say it eventually, and it'll color what I have to say now, and so I should probably just get it out of the way. Um, the Luke rework is my baby. So some bias there. Um, The reason he's getting reworked now is because I did the lion's share of the work on him a year ago, and he's been sitting on the shelf since. I've mentioned before when it comes to reworks that like we have a very limited amount of official bandwidth for doing this work. And there are only so many characters who truly can be touched up just with value only updates or tiny ability tweaks, right? They're very, very few, which means that most of the reworks people want, um, most of the reworks that people want are a fair amount of effort for the balance program to make sure that they're good, right? And then you have to take into account that there is a whole category of champions that are good candidates for the Iron Man treatment. And like people say, well, we just should have had Iron Fist, like reworked at like Iron Man instead of Luke Cage. You don't get to make the call as to when we do the next ground up rework. I don't get to make that call, right? That is something that requires buy in from the entire company. Hey, Hinach. That's something that requires buy in from the art team, from marketing. Like, that is such a high level call. We don't just slot those in when we feel like it. And so that kind of means that when it comes to these reworks that we're shipping when people don't need to be rebalanced, characters that are good candidates for the full overhaul, like Iron Fist, like Groot, are arguably not on the table at all because we probably shouldn't be touching them until they can get that full treatment, right? And that means that what's left are the value only updates that the balance program can handle, and then larger reworks that the balance program can also handle, but that take more time, or that champion designers basically have to do on the side. And I've also mentioned before that there are certain kinds of champions, certain kinds of reworks that are a lot less attractive to do. I mentioned the Ant-Man fiasco, right? And so like if you're looking at somebody like Agent Venom, as much fun as it might be to build that kit, it's definitely holding people back because it's like, okay, well, I have to build a kit and then I have to deal with the inevitable fallout from the nerf that would have to happen to his trio. The character would end up being better overall and more useful, but there is a significant section of the player base that does not care and will only focus on what was lost. That's not fun. Similarly, there are some characters that are very difficult to buff cleanly. Psylocke is one that comes up a fair amount. She has incredible power control in a tiny, tiny niche. And that power control might need to be a little bit less absolute for her to be better overall, right? That is a daunting design challenge. And taking that on is not something that people are likely to do casually on the side without input from the rest of the team. No, YouTube, this is not a good time for ads. We're going to skip those for now. And so which reworks are ready is somewhat a function of who's just had time to do them. Like I said, I've had Luke mostly ready for months, almost a full year. And so that's why he was able to be grabbed off the shelf and shipped relatively quickly without a ton of extra work so that the balance program can work on the next couple people that go out, right? Like, it's not, the question is not Luke, who already got reworked, versus somebody else who's more deserving because they haven't been reworked at all. The question is, who's ready to go? Who is easy to get out the door? Who can we do justice to right now with the resources we have? That is the only question. All of the other questions, class balance, who's been reworked already, what needs to come out, those are secondary. We answer those as much as we can, but those are secondary. Because we want to get as many good reworks out as possible, and so the focus is on who is ready. And that's why Luke. I think that's probably enough on that. I'll leave it be for now. But hopefully that offers some clarity. Love these rants because I'm in a different career, but I want to start my own company, and this gives me so much insight into how much goes into one decision. That is really cool to hear, Andres. I really appreciate that. Sure, Stig, no problem. How's it going? That was the funniest. Uh, safe to say that Luke will not counter onslaught. Oh, that's funny. Not intentionally, anyway. No, I did not design onslaught. Appreciate this explanation. I was annoyed about it, but having a better understanding of the why makes me not frustrated. I'm sure there are more like me who just don't understand. I'm glad to hear that. And if that was pointed, I apologize. This is not the first time I've had this particular conversation today. And I do hope that we're able to talk about more. I don't know if I'm supposed to have given away that much today. Ah, I don't know, but I'm glad that helped. Oh my god. Zemo cannot catch a break today. Hold on. That's actually a good case study. Let me send this in. Poor guy. Thanks for shoving. It's actually been a pretty bad day, but I won't spend time on that. I appreciate the well wish. Can I ask, is Nimrod a good option for Sauron and Stormex in Necropolis? I do think Hulkbuster might be better for both of them, but I'm sure he can work for both. Yeah, you got to watch the Unblockable on Sauron and the Evade, but it's Nimrod. And for Stormex, you just need to make sure that you get that power drain up and try and keep it up, right? You're going to want to stay and eradicate as much as possible. Um, because the power drain is going to be your way to deal with her Tempests. Who do I think is better for Necropolis Null? Rank 1 Wong or rank 4 Ascended Absorbing Man? I'm doing my 4th path tomorrow. It depends on how much you can get around without blocking, right? Because I think Carl might be simpler. But you need to be able to avoid corruption a certain amount so that you can keep your healing up. And Wong is really good at special spamming. I hate Shocker's animations. You and me both. Whoever designed Onslaught, let them know they did a fantastic job. I'm glad to hear that. He's very good. What's a fair example of a target for a champion? Is it generic example defensive, or is it more like story or something like health pools? So all three of those could count. When we say targets, we usually mean, even then, it's a couple different things. When we say targets, I think that's most often shorthand for target matchups. Like, Photon is supposed to be good against Rintra. Absorbing Man is supposed to be good against Terrax. That kind of thing. So that's the immediate sense of targets. Game modes are definitely valid. Um, like Vox was somewhat targeted at incursions as well as like long form content and battlegrounds, but also like Photon's design was heavily warped by warped might not be the right word, but like her design was very dependent on the fact that we decided her balance target, her attribute target for defense was a 5 out of 5, right? So like all of those really count, which is maybe unhelpful to you trying to narrow it down. So apologies, but hopefully that helps a bit. Optimistic about the rebalancing for buffs. Yeah, honestly, we should have had it a long time ago, and I've said as much. Like, it's Deadpool X Force, sure. It's also, I've seen plenty of people speculating this, so I don't think this is really ruining anything. It's also very much necessary for the Juggernauts and the Hulks out there. Juggernaut is too strong. He was supposed to be strong, he wasn't supposed to be this strong. And it would be nice for us to have a clear window to react to that without us, I don't know, basically having to do it in a way that players are going to be mad about. Don't love that. Excuse me. Defense is a 10 out of 5. I do not agree. Hold on. This isn't directly aimed at you, but I meant before I started this stream to link a particular video of mine and pin it in the comments for related reasons. How far back is this? There it is. That is required viewing. Her animations are tricky. You have my sympathy there. Yeah, Normax has been crushing Necropolis. That's been very cool to watch. I did that. He's always a jerk. Hey, Deadpool. God, he does so much damage. Superior Specials is truly an insane buff. You probably need a milder version for Incursions, honestly. Man, Photon is nerfed because I don't have her. I've seen basically that argument a few times today. Unfortunately, Stig, that's probably not true. Icarus is kind of messy. I don't think he would be an easy fix. From my understanding, much of the AI issues are very difficult, if not impossible, for Kabam to change due to the base code of the game. Not exactly. I've seen a number of misunderstandings about the AI post that we put out. So that was true because some of the code that determines randomness in our game was being run through Unity, right? And there was basically no way for us to get around it. We could not have our replays reproduce fights. And for those of you who don't understand why, the fight replay system, like when I click report issue, it's not sending a video of the fight because that's not very helpful for whatever's going on underneath. You need all the code that is also firing. But sending a full replay of all of the code and a video would just be an absurd amount of data for like everyone in the CCP to constantly be recording at all times. Even if only some of them are submitted and others are just deleted afterwards, like it would just be a stupid, stupid amount of data. So what the replays are is basically the materials to reconstruct what a fight looks like later. But because some of our code was being filtered through Unity, those replays weren't playing back deterministically. We weren't actually getting exact reproductions of what happened in a fight when the code fired. And so then there wasn't really anything we could do about it because we would hand it to an engineer who like could theoretically change the AI and it would play back and it would be like, well, that doesn't match the description that this person very angrily wrote. So I don't know what to do. So this refactor that we shipped last month, um, that was like a year-long plus project to move that code out of Unity into our code where we control it so that that wouldn't happen anymore. So that we would actually be able to look at this data so our engineers would have better things to action off of, and so that we can then carefully make changes going forward. And that's the hope, is that we will actually be able to fix things in the AI, but it's not going to be easy. And it is going to be slow because we're going to be making these changes as much as possible one at a time. So need a bit of an expectation there. Yeah, sure thing. Glad that helped. I just use crossbones to fight Photon. Yep, that'll do it. Is that because of how weird his energizes are? It's because of a whole lot of things. If you remember, Icarus was beyond bugged when he first went to the CCP. That was emblematic of a number of things going on under the surface. Whew, that'll do. Hey, Wildcat, how's it going? Ran into a photon on buffet and arc overload. Is duped Shuri the best counter there? Mantis and Crossbones don't seem great. Mantis would be tricky. Crossbones is definitely a problem. Zemo can probably do it. Depends on the size of the health pool. Black Cat might be one of the best there. Shuri definitely makes a lot of sense. She'd be solid. Scorpion, probably incredible. Annoyingly so. Um, Shields is probably pretty solid. And then I imagine Kate works, as long as you're good at getting her set up. Recently pulled and awakened 7-star crossbones. That's awesome. I mean, anything with debuffs, anything with defensive ability, accuracy reduction. He's basically Falcon without crits. That's pretty awesome. Okay, you know what? I want this to go well, so I'm going to do a revive here. Please don't be something I can't take. That's fine. That's fine. And I didn't check the boss. Whatever. We figure it out. Scorpion, a champ you guys wish to have rebalanced to be not as powerful. I certainly wish that. I don't want to speak for the balance team. Hey, Slay, how's it going? Thank you. Yeah, I will say Crossbones is at his best against heroes. Until you get significantly more comfortable with him, I would recommend you pretty much only use him either against heroes or where there are a lot of relatively benign debuffs. Um, but that's not to say that's all he'll ever be good for. That's just kind of like the starter. I think we can do that. What's the middle one? Power focus? Yeah. That was beautiful. Hey, Snoops, how's it going? Yeah, the Spider-Verse champions are quite good. Hold an Awakened Hyperion, and I have no plans of taking him up because I don't care for him and my alliance is giving me a hard time. I understand why. You shouldn't rank somebody you're not in love with, but I'm jealous. That's very cool. Oh, consistent combos is so annoying. Consistent combos and tenacity, that's so rude. Did Sector 5 to Zone 17 the other day with mostly Surfer. That's very cool. That'll work. I'd kill for a dupe on my crossbones since he's rank 3 already. You are a brave soul. If you have a Cosmic rank 3 gem, would I use it on Unduped Hyperion or Gamora? Is Gamora also unduped? I think it's still Gamora, unless you're just committed to, I love Hyperion. I'm just going to deal with this until I finally do get him awakened. Ooh, Poisonous Truth is pretty good with extended stuns. Raining Degen is generally cracked. But I think given the relative lack of utility we have on our others, yeah, I'm going to go Poisonous Truth. It's a good one. I think Gamora's better, but that doesn't mean it's the only good call. Yep, Buffcorn for sure. I popped 3 Titans, 2 are Hype, and then Shield. That's awesome. I have 4 Cosmics already at rank 2 and a rank 3 Venom. Okay, your hesitance makes a bit more sense. I'm still gonna squint at you, but I get it. Ooh, breakneck speed is tough. I'm gonna risk it. Just been watching Squid Game. Nice. Never seen that. Probably won't, but hope she's enjoying it. The third Ronin Bowl. I know this isn't what you want to hear right now, but his SIG at least does scale okay. But I'm sorry to hear that. How's it going other than that, Yuki? I'm not going to read that out loud, Icarus, but that made me laugh. Not to say that if I somehow come across the tier 6 class cows that I won't take hype up, just not giving him 1 to 2 gem. That's very fair. That's extremely fair. It's something where there's no glass half full. I'm gonna say like that glass is like a fifth full. Which is not what you want from a 1 in 6 bowl. Alright. Let's see if we can figure this out. Dude. I'm just gonna. You absolute jerk! He did not dash at me once! Was there any consideration in making photons stronger? This guy. Sorry, one sec. I will admit on the last one, I kind of forgot I could just knock him down anyway, so my fault. AI was still annoying, but I did miss it. So Photon being stronger on defense, like that's the funny thing is that like her data said she didn't need to be changed, right? But as far as like if we overreacted to the data every time and always made adjustments in the direction it indicated, no matter how small the adjustment was, then Photon probably would have been, yeah, buffed a little on defense and nerfed a little on offense. Because, like, that's how she was performing. How much of that is decay? How much of that is inequity? How much of that is, like people only ever using Photon on offense when they have a great matchup because otherwise they throw her on defense? Like, trust me, we said all of the things. There's a reason we left her alone. But I will admit, there's also a certain amount of like, if she doesn't need to change, then why would we be dumb enough to change her in exactly the opposite of the way that the community expects? That's just that's running into an explosion that we do not have to deal with. You're dead. Maybe not. When you can claim all the rewards at once makes you realize what great value it is. Absolutely. Zemo has been so cursed this run. I just keep looking at him being dead. It's been going okay. Just went through a big external audit at my company with a positive result. Awesome. Looking forward to a slower pace the rest of December. That makes sense. Has the challenge quest for the last Gilly piece been announced? I don't believe so. That should be pretty soon. Will the 7-star Incursions crystal change anytime soon? Not right away. That's one of those things where, like, if we change it too soon, then there's like no point to it, right? Because you didn't really have a chance to benefit from, excuse me, the more focused exclusive pool, and there was no real appeal to it because it just went into the basic right away. If we wait too long, then it can feel like people don't have a chance to get those characters at all. I don't know where the live ops teams are going to land as far as splitting that difference, but it's going to be a balancing act. That's probably okay with Sassy. That seems okay. Seems okay. Are there any quality of life changes I would like to see in the game? Dude, so many. Like being in game development gives you a certain amount of patience. You understand what goes into things and how long they take, and it helps you not be mad that they're all not here already. But at the same time, it also like develops your opinions and your design thoughts more fully. And so yes, there's so many things that I want. I think my top ask is a glossary in game. Like we have these little tips on loading screens. We have a glossary in game for like when we can click on things like physical resistance and it tells you what it is. But there's no like actual there's no like journal function like an RPG, right? There's no place in the menu where you can go and read through the glossary and scroll and click like physical resistance versus energy resistance. What's the difference between a petrify and a wither and an enervate, right? Like you want to go through, maybe not you, but you want the ability to read those things and actually be able to look at them when you're not trying to also piece together a champion's kit. That's probably the single biggest thing I want, but there's a whole bunch of stuff I've asked for at various times. Am I joining any of the giveaway streams? I am not because I don't live in Vancouver and they were very inconsiderate and did not line them up with me being there last week for the holiday party. I am, of course, kidding. They are wonderful people. But I was a little bit sad about that because I probably would have otherwise. Maybe next year. He tried to kill me. Whoops. I am not handling that part. Am I the only one who can't avoid Scorpion's special one consistently? You definitely are not, Snoops. I blocked a hit from it in that last one. And when I full dexed the second one, I was like, oh, nice. That doesn't always happen. So don't worry about it. I know we have some conversations going on the stream, but can we talk about how good that Spider Ham is doing? Oh, yeah, man. He is awesome. I was so happy to dupe him. Don't change it too soon. I can always get 20 more six off. Why was the cooldown for the loyalty 7-star crystal increased so much? It wasn't. That was always the intended cooldown. We just started in the middle of it. And if you have your next question is why did we start in the middle of it? I don't know. I don't know. Probably to give you the second one faster. I don't have an answer because it's not my stream. But that was always the intended cooldown. I can verify that having seen planning documents. We just started in the middle of the first one. Scalable UI. Yeah, that's a big one. Or moving the in-fight UI things around. Like, people always complain, hey, can we move the relics button? And it's like, it doesn't work for everybody. But it's a big ask, but the ability to put the relics button wherever you want, to put any of the stuff in the in-fight UI wherever you want, would be pretty cool. Woo! It's gorgeous. That was very weird. He threw the special one as soon as he entered the invulnerability, which would have caused problems if he hadn't died. thought of that, and that would be amazing. I'm glad to hear it. I got that one from the couple months when I was playing Honkai Star Rail quite a bit because like there's so much density of information in that game. Maybe not as much as ours. It's like more in some ways and less in others. They have more resources. Like think about imagine if this game had like 3 or 4 different resources that were all functionally ISO and a complete gear system, also with multiple kinds of ISO. And that's like how complex the progression system is in Star Rail. But then their actual characters are less complex. But for all of that information, they like will throw the mechanics for everything at you in these lines, but it doesn't get overwhelming because there's always like I can just go back to the glossary if I need something explained again. Because once you're given the tip the first time, it's always there. And that's something I'd really like to see. Take care, Slay. Thanks, Icarus. That means a lot. Beast. Would love to see the mute emote button. That's a contentious one. I certainly wouldn't mind it, but not really within my wheelhouse. I've been spoiled by Kabam's transparency. That's very cool to hear. That's an interesting one, Icarus. Because I would hate if that was the default. I don't think I could get used to it, but like that's something that could be possible, yeah. I hate Meet Your Doom so much. I think I'm going to avoid that just based on that. Yup. Okay, what do you do? We can avoid Shocker, we will. Are you... Okay. I think that'll still be okay with Sasquatch. Throw it. Thank you. Couldn't get past the 2-hour tutorial of Star Rail. It's a decent game, but overwhelming. I can understand that. I mean, I was motivated because I was told that we were holding a book club in the company and we were going to go talk about this giant competitor we had. And so, like, it never occurred to me this tutorial is boring. I was just like soaking the whole thing up. It's like, what are they doing and why? It's like, these are the big dogs. Learn from them. What are they doing and why? What can we steal? What doesn't work for us? Like I was in full designer mode for the entire like I don't know how many hours of that game. I eventually got a little bit bored of it because I also have this game, but like it's cool. Does his power drain... How does his power drain work? I thought that was the purpose of it. Oh, him leaving rage. I got you. Yeah, I can see how that would be a huge problem. His rage does feel a little bit short to me. But then I do something like that, and I'm like, nope, that's why. I'm glad to hear you were happy with that balance this year, Icarus. We legitimately do try to strike the balance. Ooh, this should be good. Didn't quite kill, but that was indeed good. His power drain is part of his awaken. It's base kit. Yeah. I just forgot about it. Um, I'm a teacher. The position I have over students can in some ways be similar to a company with players. Yeah, that makes sense. My brother's a school teacher as well. He's a choir director. And he definitely does some things for the kids' benefit that they don't always feel is for their benefit. Are you there? Hey, Vega, how's it going? Yeah, he's doing beautifully, man. Has been absolutely carrying this run. Best stat focus for Wiccan? I think probably physical resistance. You could maybe argue for a few others, and if you play him perfectly, then you don't need it because you have his resistance ups, but just for the sake of not dying by accident, it's pretty good. I'm a fan of not dying by accident. That's fine. Hey, Dot. I was wondering if you'd show up tonight. We have the two people I associate most with Spider Ham today. That's great. Well, two of the three, his creator being the third. Is it a regen buff? Unclear. Utterly insane. How is he rolling regen this much? Who's the best counter for Chavez and Necropolis? The best RPG counter is Quicksilver. Just basically turns off the whole fight. But he is going to be slower than some other options. Torch works, Scorpion works, Shuri works. There are a number of things that you can do. I'm pretty sure people have used Kate. I'm sure somebody has used Wong. Chavez herself is probably pretty good. Probably at least okay, yeah. Whoops. Don't do that again. Hey. That's not how that was supposed to go. That was gorgeous. Absolutely. Off topic, but I'm so glad Null's in the base pool. I rank 3 mine, having not used him ever for the Valiant title, and I would love an Awakening. Yeah, Null is amazing. That'd be a really good pull. That Sassy rank 3? No. I believe they're just rank 2. I know they're not rank 3. It might be if I duped. But I do think he needs his dupe. This Fate Seal is really harshing my vibe. Non-zero chance Spider-Ham goes to rank 3. He is absolutely crushing it. Crimson Rage is pretty annoying, but that's still okay. What do you do? I don't think I want to fight you. I do not want to fight you. Fight you. I could deal with you if I need to. What do you do? Yeah, that works. As long as we can just remember that you start unblockable and not be a dumb person. Why do I think Spider-Ham was overlooked or not rated super highly for a while? So there are a lot of overlapping answers to that question. Number one, low health pool. There are plenty of ways in which Spider-Ham can be tanky, but they don't have a lot of health. And so if you don't have his defenses online when the danger happens, you're in trouble, right? Um, the AI not throwing specials is also one of those things that like has an outsize feeling on how a character feels, I think, or impact on how a character feels. Where it's like you really remember the times when 20 power stings fell off at once. And that can really kind of stay with you and go, I don't want to use that champion. I know a ton of people who have bypassed Spider Ham for that exact reason. Um, Another thing that I would attribute it to is that I think Spider Ham has a higher skill cap than people kind of give him credit for. Like Vega called out very early in one of his videos that he has incredible, as Vega calls it, flow. The abilities are always there when you need them. One goes into another. It's like truly an aspirational design, in my opinion. Just like beautifully crafted. Everything fits. You read it and you go, what's the purpose of this ability? Oh, to make that one better. What's the purpose of this ability? Oh, to make that one better. Oh, all of them feed into each other. It's gorgeous. The relic helps a lot in part just because it papers over the taunt problem and gives him one more taunt um, when he doesn't have his, makes it that much easier to go for the special too. Because sometimes before you had the relic, if you bypass the special one to try and get more damage out of the special two, then because you didn't have the taunt, they wouldn't throw the special, you would lose your power stings and you would go, why did I ever agree to use this stupid character? Right? But going back to the skill thing, I think that despite how good a flow he has, there are a number of things you need to pay attention to at the same time. There's a certain amount of a bandwidth ask, and you kind of have to weave in some weird abilities like the heavy to actually bring your own resource down so that you can control it. There's the manual evade, learning how to use that for openings and for ramping. There's a lot going on in the kit that is not immediately obvious. And so I think it's really easy to pick him up, play with him a little bit, have the power stings fall off once and go, nah, this isn't worth it, and move on before you really figure out what you're dealing with. Also, the community tends to underrate utility, tends to underrate damage resistance relative to just having a lot of health or doing big yellow numbers, and tends to underrate red numbers. He's kind of like if you built a champion in a lab to be underrated, it would look something like Spider Ham. Absolutely, Vega. I'm. That's one of the reasons I'm so glad I finally got him at a usable rarity because I really enjoyed your early journey with him, but then I just did not pull him forever, and now I finally have him. Do I think any other champs fall under that umbrella? I mean, Quicksilver comes to mind. There's an immediate one. There are definitely others. Scrolling through real quick. Toad, for that matter. I think Toad and Havoc both fit a lot of that. The abilities all fit together really well, but it's not immediately obvious. And if that's one thing is that like there's some champions where when you do the thing wrong, it's really, really clear. If you play Vox poorly, you lose all of your degens, you don't get any intensifies, you have to build back up from scratch. It's obvious that you messed up. if you play Havoc poorly, if you play Toad poorly, it's easy to come away with the impression that the champion is the problem, not you. This was a comment that I made about Killmonger a lot back in the day. Like, people would say, oh, Killmonger is terrible, and then you would watch them play him, and they were doing nothing to maximize damage. They were doing nothing to take advantage of like the defensive abilities. They were just kind of hitting the opponent and doing nothing else. So like this, I think the most important thing for a character there is when the fail case for a character, when not playing them well is not immediately obvious, they're more likely to be underrated, I would say. Oh god, it's this stage. Ah, see, right there. That's how the heavy works. That was so good. And also proved why the relic is good. Another easy heavy opening. What's my opinion on Gladiator? I think Gladiator is much maligned and often underrated and subject to literally impossible and disingenuous expectations. I think there are a whole lot of people out there who are literally only going to be happy with the second coming of Hercules and will then tell you to your face that's not what they want because they know that would be ridiculous. And that makes it very difficult to have an honest conversation about Gladiator. That said, there are some things in his playstyle that I think could be shored up a bit. What champs would be useful to examine to level up your game design knowledge? Yeah, I mentioned all of those. Um, there's a number of things here. Because I will say I'm biased in this, in that like my favorite champions when I applied for the job were mostly built by the person who ended up hiring me because they liked how I thought. um, but I think a lot of their champions are good case studies, right? Like even their champions that people consider failures. Like take a real good look at Airwalker and Purgatory, who were both built by the same person who built Spider-Ham, by the same person who built Mr. Fantastic. And think about how their kits fit together. Sorcerer Supreme is another one they built. Vision Arcus is another one they built. All of those kits just have really interesting interlocking pieces that even if you don't think the final piece came together, understanding what the goal was and why they shipped that way will probably teach you a lot quickly. Yeah, they do. Q. I meant to do. Oh, please, for the love of God, throw this. Okay, we're reducing special damage by 40%. But how much freaking attack does this Mordo have? Are we dead? Not quite. Turns out, 40% damage reduction. Very important. He's so good. That was such an excellent punctuation to the discussion of how he's tanky. Yeah, that was from the special 3 Vega. I had 8 spider nonsense. Adam with Caltrops. Okay, time to swap out Zemo. That's a Carl fight if I've ever seen one. Accidentally pulled a 7-star from one of his Paragons a while ago and never really touched him after I struggled to find use to him. Oh, Gladiator? Yeah, I can understand that. Decided to do paperwork instead of recording. Nice. Happy to have you. The Mojo synergy is almost overkill if you have inequality. It really, or sorry, inequity. It really is. Okay, let's see if I can stay on top of this. I am not going to be able to stay on top of this if he keeps doing this. Dude, you have your special too. What more do you want? That'll do it. No heavy punish for those? I was playing very safe. We're in zone 14. I have an Atom to fight. I'm trying to be careful. Ooh. Made me sweat a bit. Take care, Chris. Have a good one. How often do you check Twitter? Sometimes, although I'll be honest, I don't always check the tags. The unhealthy habit for me to cultivate. Like I said, Carl fight if I've ever seen one. The texture on Werewolf by Night's model is bugged. Oh, fun. Love those ones. Also, that was incredible luck on perfect block rolls, because we blocked a lot of hits of special ones, and they were all zeros. Funny how that worked. Cool, 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 cool. What do you do? The poison sounds like a bad. I could swap out I-Bomb for, or Sasquatch for I-Bomb. Personal space region. No, I think I like that one. Yeah, I don't think we want to fight a big Killmonger right now. A-Bombs become immune to everything. Also, I realized I couldn't swap in A-Bomb to go that way because the champ swap node isn't over there. Freaking arena. And you're not going to survive long enough for me to heal, are you? That's when Carl's crit luck is best. Boo, fisticuffs. This will be alright. Jesus, that power sting. Alright, die. Getting a nice demonstration of how an uncooperative AI can really screw with Carl. Yep. I feel like a turtle out of its shell. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I feel like it tells me that I did a good job with him because the fact that such a powerful character can have such a profound moment of weakness really says a lot. Good lord, Corvus. Gorgeous. By Knight's my favorite champion of the year. That's awesome. He's definitely cool. I'm glad I was able to pull him. I'm looking forward to playing around with that a bit more. Alright, we're at 249. I think my crystal's still on cooldown, even if I did get enough artifacts, but good to know. Would a 7-star Corvus overshadow a 6-star Hercules? I mean, in terms of the largest available seven big yellow numbers, sure. But in terms of an impact on the game, no. Hercules just has too much going on. Yeah, Vega, I very much do. One might be able to argue that I should have been doing that right now instead of this Incursions run, but I had fun. I do I plan to get that out soon. Cool. How'd the Sector 6 run the other day go? So I forgot that daylight savings threw off incursions and that had not been fixed. And so when I went to bed at zone 15 or whatever, with a fully ramped Angela, I thought that if I didn't set an alarm and woke up at 10 the next day, I would have 2 full hours to get it done. I was wrong. I woke up at 10:10, got my coffee, had 45 minutes to try and blitz through 10 rooms, ran into a very annoying Wiccan in zone 19. I did not make it. I think I finished room 21. I got decent rewards out of it, but that's why I didn't stream the end of it, because I was just rushing. The auto open button new. No, it's not fully rolled out to everyone. I've had access to it for like a year now. I don't know why more people don't have it. One of those things is not my department. Are you serious? Okay, that's cool. Nope, I have all of these. So the reason that's annoying. Oh, I guess I was wrong. I didn't have three butts. I had three torsos at one point. I sold one of them. Now I have four or two of four of them, and I'm still missing what? The left arm? Meanwhile, Cat Murdoch pulls four selectors. Come on. But I don't want to sell the second one because like I feel like I could actually I'm on my way to duping a plat pool, so I feel like it would be dumb to get rid of any chance of that now. But I would really love a selector to get that arm out of. Got its own 25 with Hercules with Stun Cascade, left to bring Aegon. Yeah, I do think a good reason to use Aegon and Incursions would be cool. Agreed, Snoops. Hmm. I'm close to a number of interesting things. I could take Onslaught to rank 5, but doing so also means not taking Havoc to rank 2, so I'll have to think about that. Science and Tech. Do I have any 6 stars in Science and Tech that I badly want to take? I don't know that I do. And yes, that is a rank 4 Luke Cage. Bite me, I like him. Yeah, I think I'd probably rather take one of these to rank 2 and just wait longer. Okay, well, probably no exciting rank ups for me in the short term. Losing Herc's just a huge safety net. Yeah, we need hacks that make other people a little bit more viable, and bluntly, we probably just need to ban Hercules from incursions for a month. Jugs with Diablo Synergy and Toxic Advance is ridiculous. Yeah, that's fun. T'Challa's Black block mechanic will be really cool for knowing things like SEMO. Oh, and just incursions. Yeah, absolutely. I don't have anything to open here, right? Just a ooh, that's nice. We don't have like literally a sprinkling of 6-star shards, do we? Does this get us? Oh my god! Of course, it's a gem. It is always a gem when I just need shards. All right, fine. I guess we'll open 4. That's so annoying. I'm not going to do anything stupid to open 5 instead of 4 at the same time, just because round numbers are pretty. Okay. Mephisto might be Sig 200. I don't think any of the others are. Nope, not quite. Jeez, he got up there naturally. Okay, well that's a good haul. And then let's open our relic. I think there's a 5-star I'm still missing. I forget which one. No complaints about that. I believe that's currently on Venom Pool, and I use that every day. Would love for that to actually show us what the SIG change was. But yeah, see, there it is. It's now SIG 100. That's pretty darn good. Or no, that one's on Venom. Okay. Still good. Let me filter by 5-star. Yeah, I'm missing one. Okay, let's figure out which one it is. I have the science ones. I have the skill. I have the mutant. I have the cosmic. Okay, so I'm missing, what is that, vision? Yeah, I'm missing 5-star vision. That's kind of amazing given how old he is. Any defenders too good to make 7 stars for now? I don't think there are any defenders that are too good. It's like we have Korg, Killmonger, anyone recent like Photon or Onslaught, Kindred. I'm trying to think who possibly would be. Like there are 7 stars left that would be attractive defenders, but too good. The only one I can really think of off the top of my head right now is maybe like future Ant-Man could wait until we have a couple more Pierces. Adam is going to be obnoxious, and we already added him. Zemo and Carl come to mind as being particularly scary as 7 stars, but I don't think they'd be too good as defenders. It's more that they're also very good attackers that keeps them out of the pool for now. Dormammu wouldn't matter. Doom, it's definitely more about him as an attacker than as a defender. Yeah, was there anybody that you had in mind that you were thinking about? Like Gallon has answers. I can't think of anyone. Fury is a good shout. I still don't think he would be too good, but that is a good shout. He's definitely on the line, right? Mephisto's definitely going to be a solid Titan pool defender at some point. At least I would assume he'd be in the Titan pool just because of how broad his defensive strength is. Kingpin has counters, but the health pool would be insane. Kingpin would be annoying, but also it's like Kingpin would definitely be more of a problem as an attacker. I have zero fears about a defending Kingpin because just like take a look at the mutant class, especially the recent mutant class. Sunspot destroys, Havoc destroys, Bishop destroys, Danny destroys, Domino probably destroys, Onslaught destroys, and then you have so many good 6 stars in the wings, like Toad annihilates him, Jubilee destroys him. They're just, yeah. I feel like we're probably going to see more mutants as well that punish Purify because it's such an easy trigger for a mutant attacker that I'm not scared of Kingpin. 7 star thing won't be awful until Awakening Materials. Yeah, he kind of balances himself. The protection wouldn't be a problem for quite some time. Anywho, it is after midnight at this point, and I should get to bed. But thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate y'all. Good conversation. And I'll catch you soon. Take care, everyone.